Okay, here we go. Welcome to the first of many, I guess, Annapolis Art in Public Places Commission meeting in person. We haven't done this since before COVID. So this is an exciting night for us. We've also launched our new application process and review process, and are now staffed by the Department of Planning and Zoning, which is great. And so there's lots of changes for the commission. David, would you do the roll call? You need to turn on your mic.
Check 1, 2. All right, cool. Krissa. Cynthia. Joan.
Here.
Jim. Jim, can you hear me? Okay. Okay.
Are you here?
You're not talking into the microphone. You can't hear you.
Can you hear me? I'm speaking into the mic. Everyone else can hear me. I hear my voice.
Is your microphone on?
It is on.
Okay.
Hello.
All right. I'm here.
You are John.
We'll scrap that. I'll use mine.
Barbara.
Here.
Lynn.
That doesn't work.
David is here as well.
Everyone is here. I will ask for an approval of the agenda. I'll entertain a motion. There's a motion to approve the agenda. No, we need it first. Okay. Is there a second? Thank you. Oh, your mic
Can
is...
you hear me now?
Yes.
Okay.
Alrighty. Then all those in favor, please raise your hand and say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Very good.
Please, this is John here. Please note my abstention. I wasn't here for August 6th, and I was only here for half of the August 26th meeting.
Okay. Okay. We're getting to the minutes. So now we need an approval of 2 sets of minutes. We met twice in August, on August 6th and August 26th. Kim sent out the draft minutes. Has everyone had an opportunity to review them? Okay. I'll entertain a motion to approve both of them together with John's change.
This is David. I make a minute to approve the August 6th and August 26th minutes.
Okay, thank you. Is there a second? Thank you, Barbara. Yes, thank you, Barbara. All those in favor, please say aye and raise your hand.
Aye.
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 Okay. Okay. Financial report. Chris, do you have an update for us by any chance?
Sure, just the basics.
Okay.
The fiscal year 26 budget, the budget we're in now, appropriates $322,820 to the Arts and Public Places Commission. $158,000 of that is new revenue, projected revenue. As it turns out, the source of revenue, which is the hotel occupancy tax, has come in higher than projected by the staff and finance department. So an additional $14,000 roughly will be added through a supplemental appropriation by the city council to your budget. So that'll bring the actual revenue to the commission for this year to $172,000. But for planning purposes now, the funds available to the commission is roughly $322,000.
That does include the $100,000 that we have put in reserves for the Westgate Circle project, and then we have some outstanding. We do have some outstanding payments to make from the last fiscal year.
Yes, we understand that. So if you're looking at just the gross, you might assume assuming those funds are reserved, that the number is not 322,000, but more like $200,000 would be a safe number for planning purposes.
All righty. That's great. Thank you. Thank you. Mr. Department Chair, Director. All right. Is there any old business?
Yeah, quickly, did we ever get a revised procedures and guidelines from when we discussed it in August?
No, I have not. I've not sent them back to
Okay.
the commission yet.
I just want to make sure I didn't miss them.
No, you
Thanks.
have not, but you will. You'll get them soon.
Len, before we move off, could we have a written summary of our finances showing all of the various things that we have money coming in and what is being in escrow, so to speak? And that way we can better make judgments. And so the amount of money that we have in the new allocation that is available is how much?
So you mean how much is the new allocation? The new allocation is 170.
Is effectively $172,000.
I'm sorry, 172,000.
Is the allocation. There's the revenue coming in to the commission. The commission carries over funds from the previous years. And the net effect is that there's a positive income or revenue of about $200,000 or so, accounting for the reservations that you've made, totaling about $100,000, and the bills that are likely to come due based on previous decisions.
So roughly we have $170,000.
No, we have a little more than that. Roughly, as Mr. Jakubiec said, we have
I'm talking about spendable money.
spendable money. Roughly, we have about 200,000.
Okay,
That's right.
that's great.
Right.
Yes.
Yeah, including the 40. Okay. So, are there any other? Is there any other old business? Are there any other questions about the finance? Okay. Thank you. New business. We have two proposals for consideration this evening, and the presenter, the members of the applicants are here. We'd like to call to the table Art Walk first. So Chuck and your team will ask the Director of Planning and Zoning to give us an introduction based on his staff report, and then we'll ask you all to make your presentation. So please come to the table. Thank you. And we'll need you all to introduce yourselves. Your name and I guess your address. Thank you. Go ahead, Chris.
Okay.
Yeah.
The Art Walk is a 501c3 nonprofit that was the principal sponsor and developer of the Charter 300 murals that are largely still located throughout downtown. They have proposed two additions or enhancements to those sites. They've identified two sites where your murals would be replaced with new murals, largely using the same hardware or the same structure or framework as the existing murals. Those frameworks are the art is set inside of them. They're aluminum or metal, and they sit up on fasteners attached to buildings. And the proposal in total proposed request is $52,000. The first site is the U.S. Naval Academy gate at King George and Randall Streets. And the proposal is to replace the existing mural by artist Greg Harlan with a new original imagery by the same artist. The requested grant amount would be $21,000. The second site is the Atman Glazer building. This is a state-owned office building at 45 Calvert Street. It's really at the Clay Street, Calvert Street intersection. And as you travel east on Calvert Street, you can see the facade of that building. And the proposal is to replace the existing 5 murals by artists Lassie Belt and Sally Warren Comport with new imagery by the same artists, including curated imagery by Mrs. Bell's mentees from the Clay Street community and the Stanton Center. The requested grant amount for this project is $31,000. So the total is $52,000, and that includes full production, installation, marketing, and management and administration of the proposal. The staff report provides some analysis of each of the required criteria that are set forth in the city code that range from conceptual compatibility of the design to the appropriateness of the design related to its site, a description of its physical location, a sense of internal order and desirable environment for the community art, preservation of natural features to the extent that they exist, the appropriateness of materials and colors and design, and whether the art represents a broad variety of tastes within the community and provides a balanced inventory of art in public places. So these are these 7 or 8 criteria that are required by city code, but the commission also requires applicants to address some other additional criteria. While they're not in code, you're certainly within your right to ask for further analysis. And those standards range from artistic merit all the way to cultural relevance. And the staff report, I won't summarize it here, but the end result is that the Department of Planning and Zoning, after considering the application, recommends approval to the commission. And I can answer any questions if you like, but certainly the applicant will be making a detailed presentation.
Okay. Thank you, Mr. Jakubiak. Mr. Walsh, could you introduce yourself and the folks you have brought with you this evening? And then we'll entertain your presentation. And of course, we will have plenty of questions, I'm sure.
I'm Chuck Walsh, co-founder of Art Walk, a 501c3 corporation. Let me just say our first introduction to Annapolis, as Mr. Jakubiak said, was over 19 years ago before this commission, in which we were fortunate enough to obtain substantial funding then to put up, depending on how you count pieces, 17 pieces of public art at 6 sites. The Art Commission funded that project. It is still up 19 years later, although I think most of us who have observed the pieces view them as perhaps needing to be replaced. But we are here 19 years later with the city 250th anniversary of this country scheduled for 2026, and with Annapolis's incredible participation in our country's American Revolution, we'd like to help that celebration be a significant part of our city and have it continued for years following. I'll let Sally and Lindsay introduce themselves. I would say to you all, we as a city are blessed to have, particularly for this project, but for all of our public art projects, a quality of local artists, two of whom are sitting here, but also Greg Harlan and Rob Wood, who are renowned historical artists who worked with Ken Burns on his recent PBS documentary. And if you look at the background art in that documentary, those 6 installments, you will see much of Greg Harlan and Rob Wood's art, and they will participate in this project, as well as Sally and Lindsay and Art at Large. Sally?
My name is Sally Warren Comport. I was also involved in the 300, Charter 300 artwork. I co-founded Art Walk with Chuck at that point. I also am owner of Art at Large, Inc. It's my design and art firm where we do museum work and illustration and public art and exhibition design, pretty much up and down the East Coast and other places.
Hi there, my name's Lindsay Bolin Lowry. I've been with Art at Large, Inc. and Annapolis Art Walk for 15 years and have just seen the incredible work that these guys get us into, and I thank you for giving us the time tonight. Should we run through the presentation?
Yeah. Yes, you may go if you would like to go through your presentation.
This will not be new information to you as much as I just want you to be able to reference the pictures and understand how we do what we do. We are contractors really for a lot of vendors for each project that we do, from printers to construction people to exhibition designers and the like. So we are used to working with the details of engineering these things. Just today, we have tried this method that we're talking about in terms of re-upping the delaminated pieces that are on the Catherine Purple Cherry building on Rao Boulevard. That is my artwork on the Purple Cherry building. And we, again, reprinted. She did not want to change it, but we altered a little bit to bring a little texture and color into it. But what I really want you to see is that it works. This is a facing that is using the same armature that holds the original pieces. And we have retrimmed, reprinted, faced with a substrate that's thin enough to handle this. And it worked quite beautifully. And we finished about 4:00 today.
Rain held out.
Yeah, the rain.
Yeah, and I think, as Mr. Jakubiak mentioned earlier, the first thing we had to determine was that the structure, or the armature, as Sally describes, after 19 years was still stable. And in this case, on the Purple Cherry building, it was, and we are hopeful, although we don't know, that same armature on the Naval Academy wall and on the Atman Glazer building will also prove to be adequate where we choose to reuse it. In some cases, we won't reuse it because it doesn't fit the new artwork we're proposing to put up.
I don't know if you can clearly see, but that bottom right panel on the left photograph was pre-installation, and then on the right is the final piece. So the transformation of this artwork in just a matter of a few hours was pretty remarkable. So we're really excited that this is now a possibility.
We're also very trusting of the vendors that we use to do this stuff. You have to have people that know what they're doing and have done it and have worked with us extensively. to do a number of projects. Every project is custom, including this one that we did 20 years ago. This was the original placement of Greg's work on what is now the John Berry Gate. It was moved about 10 years into its life to the Gate 1 entrance.
I just want to do a quick, this is in the state that it was when it was first installed, and then this is its current condition. And as you get closer, you really start to see the inks and the artwork itself is extremely faded, but everything from the plaque to the surface lamination is completely, looks like it's shredded. And this is the entrance to the, United States Naval Academy. So,
And it is federal property. So I think at some point they will want this addressed. This material was not intended to be up for this long, but it became such a staple in the community that it was asked that it remain up through the HPC, who had really approved it for 3 years. It's, like we said, going on 20.
It's also interesting to give you all perspective. In the end of 2006, we signed the contract in January of 2007 with HPC and the Art and Public Places Commission in the city. We spent between $160,000 and $170,000 on that 6-site exhibit of, depending on how you count them, 14 to 17 pieces. That was 20 years ago. And today there are incredible new inks and laminates that Sally and Lindsay work with every week, and new methods that we think will allow us, even though obviously 2 decades later, it's much more costly in terms of manpower and labor and proprietary rights. But we think the 250th exhibition can be very economical with the kinds of cost savings that we can achieve utilizing some of the existing structural frameworks.
This is the original piece. Greg, we've spoken with Greg. He is happy to give rights to that again if that's what the Naval Academy is interested in maintaining. The Naval Academy ultimately has the approval of this piece of artwork that sits on their gate. These are other pieces that Greg's created, similar time period, similar aesthetic. He's a watercolor artist. I think we'd be happy to present any of these to the Naval Academy. Greg's been in publishing as long as I have, 50 years. And one of the first people I met when I moved to Annapolis, he came to a lecture I did. And he is a collaborative partner.
and a master at watercolor.
And a master at watercolor, definitely. Here are this is the Outman Glazer building, state-owned building with city property on it, which is Lassie Belt's image that makes up the main part of it. And these are the collaged grouping of pieces we did with most of the children that Lassie was mentoring at the Stanton Center at the time. And they would come to our studio, and for many, many weeks, we created imagery surrounding their Annapolis personal story. This has, at one point, it was lit by the state with lighting. I believe the light fixtures are still there. I'm not sure if they're maintained fully, but it was decided by the facilities manager that helped us with the installation of the plaque that it just needed to be lit to make it really special. So that was a nice addition. It's still a wonderful sightline. It's still in a wonderful place in the community, I think, to bring up our voices and the Voices Project that the 250 Commission has brought forth to bring voices from the community all around, but also in particular Lassie's group, to describe in writing, drawings, or even voices that can come on a be recorded.
audio.
Yeah, an audio that can be accessed with a QR code when we do the plaque. Most of the museum work we do now, we can include a lot of information through a QR code that people are now really used to using. It has not always been the case, but now people are really used to using it. And so we can dive really deep with the project that the 250th has begun, and we think we can elaborate on quite a bit, which asks the question, the prompt.
What does the pursuit of happiness mean to me? I just wanted to point out, because this tends to be one of my roles in Art Walk, is this particular piece, we felt it was appropriate and necessary to continue with a community engagement component because it's right next to the People's Park. The art itself is such an encapsulation of the community through the artwork of the kids and the Stanton Center community, that we feel it's necessary to maintain the community engagement aspect. And that ultimately makes the final piece very rewarding, but there is a bit of legwork that's involved with obtaining all of that source material and creating community engagement components. We are partnering with the Annapolis 250 Commission, but it's taking that artwork, doing a lot of scanning, photographing, designing it. So even though it's all these pieces, parts, that it becomes a larger cohesive design.
Now, I will say that we're going to do a lot more in terms of how this ends up being designed. And you can't design it before you know what you've got. So we'd have to do the collection of imagery. And then we're proposing that we replace only two of those panels, and that we add a third that's very large and is either directly applied by panel, directly applied by another aluminum substrate, which we've investigated and used at George Washington's Mount Vernon. And we're just going to make that determination as we see what is designed when we are ready to go. But I have high hopes for that in terms of how we can be creative on that facade.
We also, as Lindsay pointed out, we've been fortunate to partner with the city's 250th Celebration Commission on their, obviously, opportunity for a very unique celebration in 2026. I believe that this commission has received, and if not, I know they were sent letters of support from the 250th Commission, from, I believe, Visit Annapolis, from, I believe, the County Art and Public Places Commission. And I know Sally met today with the head of the Maryland Archives, who is, to put it mildly, thrilled to death about being part of this project, because one of the sites that we haven't brought to you all and are going to look elsewhere for funding is on the Maryland State Archives building on Rowell Boulevard, because we do have other sites, and they're prominent sites, highly visible, and I think all of our support reflects the thought that's gone into this project.
Okay, thank you. Thank you. Is that okay, good. Perfect timing. Alrighty, I will entertain questions. Go ahead, Jim.
Chuck, I see you've given us a really nice budget. I mean, in the sense that it's very broken up very carefully, and we understand it a little better. Let me just try to understand a couple points. The existing artwork is going to be taken down, repaired, and put back up, or is it going to be taken down and replaced?
Well, it
With new
depends
artwork.
on, Jim, and I'll let Sally and Lindsay, it depends on the site.
Okay, I understand.
But let's take the more complex site, which is the Atman Glazer building. Some of that art will be taken down, and the framework will also be taken down.
Okay.
I can't remember, two of the
That's
frameworks.
okay. I know there's a lot of pieces up there.
Two of the frameworks will stay up and serve as the foundation for two pieces of brand new art, and then a third piece of brand new art will either go on a new framework or go directly on the building. The Naval Academy art, again, assuming that the framework is stable, and that's the first and most important thing, safety. If we determine it's stable, the new piece of artwork will go over top of the current artwork, just as Sally described what was done today by sheer good fortune on the Kathy Purple Cherry building on Rowell. They have now proven that this process can work.
Okay.
And in working, it is going to save the city, the arts community, and the 250th celebration a decent amount of money.
Thank you. Thank you. Any other questions, John?
So the underlying artwork is going to disappear. It can't be removed and hung somewhere else, anything like that?
No, so the current, well, this is a current site photo, which makes probably the most sense. It's so delaminated and degraded in its current state that we have the opportunity, as with Greg's piece, to either replace the imagery with the same image or to create new images. So we are, for this particular piece, choosing to upgrade the art to reflect a more contemporary community.
And the same is
part.
true of the one on the Naval Academy wall?
I'm sorry.
The same is true of the artwork on the Naval Academy?
Yes. So the delaminated, degraded piece would be covered by a refreshed print. So even if it's the same image that's chosen, if you can see what we were talking about today, that bottom right piece is probably the best example, where the material that is protected is so far gone that the image is not no longer
I get it.
visible.
Now,
So-
when you hang a piece of art rather than doing a mural directly on the building, who owns that artwork?
The city owns
The city owns
the
it?
art.
Okay, thanks. Can we sell it?
You have one currently in the hallway
Okay.
that Matt was showing us on the third floor of planning and zoning. when he-
John, it's really an interesting point. Even though the piece on the Harbor Master House, it was taken down
Yeah.
because the Harbor Master House, Mr. Jakubiak saved the art literally as the
It's the bulldozers were coming down.
it's true, but it is installed in the Gormans in your old quarters in the stairwell in
Nice.
Gorman Street, and it looks fabulous.
Well, it's had some wear and tear, but
It does.
It fits well in there.
Thank you.
Thank you. Any other questions, David?
Have you,
Jim, I'm sorry. David,
I'm sorry.
David, go ahead.
Okay, cool. Hi, two questions for you. Looking at the application, I noticed you have not gone to any other corporation for funding at this point.
We have multiple sites, so we're doing quite a patchwork of grants. And so we've been, for the most part, trying to allocate, and a lot of times the grants tend to be for a very specific amount and want to be an all-encompassing project. So it's been a little bit of a tapestry, to say the least,
Sort
of
of a
trying
divide
to
and conquer
put
kind of
funding.
approach.
Yes.
Gotcha.
So for these specific sites, we wanted to kind of dedicate this funding request for these particular sites.
Well, and they are also, because they're your property, we felt like it was important to do both things, you know, maintain your property, but also build something new with the 250th.
And my second question is for the Atman Glazer project. I know you're reaching out to the community to develop that art. What is your time frame for getting that together? So that, I mean, we would obviously like to see what that would look like on the wall.
Well,
what is your time frame for that?
We have talked to Lassie Belt. To be perfectly honest, they are so, Lassie Belt got that community so excited about our 300 charter project 19 years ago. We did not want to push so hard until we knew we had a reasonable prospect for funding. The moment we know that, Sally and Lassie will get together because they're going to develop original art that takes into account the community engagement that we've talked about. And if you made me, well, I'll let Sally speak to. I shouldn't. When would
David, we would love to see initial work go up before the 4th of July. This piece will be complicated because of the community engagement part. So I think it will be probably right around the summer days that I would imagine we could get it together if we had immediate understanding that it could be funded.
And I know the name.
Oh, sorry.
No, go ahead, please. Go ahead.
I just wanted to make one other point that by partnering with the Annapolis 250 Commission, they received a grant to hire an intern, and so they will have a dedicated staff person working with Councilwoman O'Neill on this 250 Voices project. And so that's one of the reasons we wanted to incorporate this into our community engagement project, is to just get boots on the ground as quickly as possible.
And I guess the second question goes as well to the Naval Academy project. I know the Naval Academy is going to be looking at a series of pieces. Is there a time frame for that as well?
We would love that one to come really fast, but as you know,
It's the government.
getting an assembly of people to approve is the hardest part. The gathering all the people that need to approve is the hardest part.
But the advantage we have, as you can imagine, the advantage, frankly, we think we should have with this commission is we're a proven quantity, and what we put on their wall in 2007 has been an asset to them. And we're going to be working with the architect of the Naval Academy and Mr. Rubino as well. We think we can move it quickly, but we know the people. But we wish we could give you a more. It's going to go up as fast as it possibly can.
Yeah,
It's
it will
fun.
not be, because, you know, we work in the commercial sector constantly, and we have deadlines. So we try to set them ourselves, in fact, because we don't want to see things, you know, go on.
Getting the work done will be the easy part. If we can just get thumbs up from folks.
Cool.
So,
Thank you very much.
thank you.
Thank you. Krissa.
One of the things that I get concerned about is when something's in sort of a pre-stage, right? You need the money in order to get the work done. But for us to fund it, I want to know what we're going to be funding, what it's going to look like, how it's going to look once it's up, that sort of thing. Are we, Art in Public Places, going to have any say on, say, for example, what's at the Naval Academy? Like, will we have a choice of what the imagery is going to be that the artist is going to do? I know you have some thoughts in mind, and I've seen what you're suggesting. The Naval Academy will have some say as well. Will our committee have any say on that? Or are
That's
we
not a
just gonna
question
fund
for the
that?
applicant. That's a question for the commission.
Okay.
I would say to you that, and obviously this is not binding on this commission, but that in 2007, the Art Commission gave us full freedom at each of the 6 sites
Okay.
to do what we wanted to do. And I would also say, obviously, until you get funding, these
I get it. Yeah. Chicken and the egg kind of thing.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, I totally get
so,
that. Thanks.
So
Yeah.
I believe that the city code requires that we approve the images if we fund them. Okay.
That's my point.
Yeah. Okay.
Thanks.
Very good. Jim, you have one more question? I have
Well, I just
several,
wanted
so-
to suggest that you contact the Anne Arundel Arts Council.
Oh,
They
oh.
have about
Jim.
$30,000 grants. And also the Maryland State Arts Council has a similar type of grant, and I believe it's about $30,000 for this kind of art.
Jim,
Thank you.
as Lindsay said a few minutes ago, subject to this commission wanting to know what we're doing, and we could bore you to tears with all the sites we're examining, but we are working with both April Nyman at the Anne Arundel Arts Council and with Ryan Patterson at the Maryland State Arts Council, as well as Chesapeake Crossroads and other entities for funding for murals in different forms. In some cases, we're working for a piece on the Hillman
Okay.
Garage.
So you're familiar with the availability?
Be certain that we are seeking, because this is a multi-mural project, just like it was in 2007 with the Charter 300.
And what happened to Anne Catherine Green? Did you take it down and repair it?
Oh, Jim,
Let me tell
thank
you,
for
Jim.
asking.
Thank
I
you for
see it's
teeing
back-
that up.
Something's back up there.
No, this
No,
is
it's
a,
always been there.
It's there and it's just completely
Oh, you moved
covered.
it.
No.
But actually, to speak of the Maryland State Arts Council, we are working with the 250th Commission so that they too can file. So we are going to be filing for a grant. They'll be filing for a grant as well to move Anne Catherine Green to the Maryland State Archives building so that she's A, much more visible, and B, reunited with the Maryland Gazette collection. So
Good.
that makes the most sense. It's actually, Anne's still there, but you cannot see her. I wish I would have put that. I can send you a
I
photo.
looked at
It's
it
pretty.
today and I saw this thing up.
Yeah, it's there.
It wasn't the
it's,
same. It wasn't where it was. I think it.
Yeah, no,
came
it's
down.
always been there.
The
It
the
has not been
trees,
moved.
Jim, fool you.
But that's great news. I would be glad to see them move that because it is hard to see it.
We've also spoken with the building owner there, and we have spoken today. We met with the Maryland State Archives Director, Elaine Bachman. She's on the Maryland State 250th Commission, and she is raring to go. She
Good.
can't think of a more appropriate place. But it is, however, I got to remind the commission, it is owned by you, that art.
I just want to make one other point. With the Maryland State Arts Council Public Art Across Maryland grants, typically they have a planning grant and a project grant. The planning grant is for up to $10K and the project grant is for now up to $30. It used to be $50. Because of the nature of the 250th anniversary and because we are trying to fast track this, we are bypassing the planning grant that we would normally file for a larger public art installation like this and doing much of this work on spec in order to accomplish what we're trying to accomplish. So we, in light of the timeline, are just going right for the project grant for 2 sites.
That also addresses, Chrissy, your question. When we began another project that we brought before this commission, we received a planning grant from the Maryland State Arts Council to plan that project. We used every dollar of it to plan that project. And so that's what we don't have on this thing. So to be able to show you what you're getting, that makes it difficult because we have to feed our families too.
All right, thank you. So I have a couple of questions. The first one is, do you have an agreement or any agreement with the Naval Academy and with the state?
We currently have the agreements with both of them for the art that is currently on their buildings.
My question is, do you have agreements with them to remove and replace?
Not yet.
Okay. And then, do we know how the USS Ranger was used once it was sold to private buyers?
I don't know what you mean.
So the USS Ranger, once it was decommissioned, was sold to private buyers. And I would like to know how it was used.
That would be a Greg question. He's the
or a
history
Naval Academy Museum
Yeah.
curator question. Or
And-
perhaps is there an answer that we?
I don't know. I do not know the answer.
Okay.
I do not know the answer. It says that it was used as a merchantman ship. So I question what that means if it was used for private use during those times. And it would be very difficult for me to approve that without knowing how that ship was.
You mean that image?
No, the ship,
That,
the image of the ship.
yeah, that's what I mean.
Right. Yes. Yeah. So, okay. Thank you. That ends my questions. Does anyone else have, Joan? Yes.
I have a couple questions regarding just the material aspect of this. So what is the original artwork that you're using to print this from? Like, is it a digital creation or is it like
No, these are not digital
acrylic, watercolor,
creations.
mixed media,
I mean,
or
with the Lassie Belt art, that will be a digital collage because much of the material, you know, we were able. This is why we loved being able to do this in print, was because we were able to take little charcoal drawings that kids were producing that were rough and not finished and wouldn't obviously be able to live outside of being a digital capture.
Okay.
So we will digitally capture what we're doing. Greg's watercolors are digitally captured. My work is a hybrid. Normally, the Anna Catherine Green is a hybrid of some digital capture of what I'm drawing or painting, and then some of it is digitally painted by me on the computer. So these are, you know, it's kind of the way the illustrator works now, obviously, is you work in that realm.
So for
yeah.
the Admin Glazer building, the direct applied wall treatment, that's not
That's not
hand
paint.
applied. That's
No.
not hand applied. That's a print as well as the ones that are on the
Correct. Yes.
Okay. Couple other questions. Please forgive me. What type of history does this new application that you just used today on the Cherry building, how long has that been in use, and how long has it held up? Leading into my question, how long do you foresee these proposed artworks to remain in good condition, realizing that
19
artwork
Yeah.
is, I mean, that's
Well, yeah, and that's what I'm excited about more than
ephemeral
anything.
nature of
We
artwork.
could get lucky.
Yeah.
Go ahead, I'm sorry.
It's actually the same material. It is aluminum. It's not going to break down on the substrate. The print is better quality vinyl that does not deteriorate as rapidly because obviously adhesives, everything has gone to digital printing on the outside. And many muralists you'll find now are using heat applied digital work rather than going out and painting. And it's an easier way to get more community members involved. Not every community member is ready to get up in a harness and a lift and paint something. And the paint does not last as long as vinyl has. And then they have a laminate over them. The inks are they're all UV inks. And then the laminates are even more durable than they were when we put up the first pieces. Kathy Purple Cherry's building, we put that up 20 years ago. The laminates were not nearly the protectant, and the inks were not nearly the protectant that they are now. So I'm very encouraged by the way digital reproduction has gone. And it's also better quality now, too. You used to be able to see rubbery dots coming from everything. And so
you,
now
you guarantee we'll get at least 19 years.
you will get, I'm not guaranteeing anything. And, you know, when you go to the material specifier, you know, to specify how long does this stuff last, they will not guarantee for more than 6 years. But we've proven over and over again by a piece we have actually hanging in Miami that it's a good 12 years that it'll go.
Thank you. Thank you, everyone. Oh, do
I
you have one
another
more?
question. Sorry. I'm going to forget what I was going to ask. It was regarding that's actually AIPPC guidelines as to how soon is it required that the recipient spend the award. Like, is there I remember, I just don't remember what it was, the hard deadline. Like, you need to spend the award by a certain amount
Right.
time period. I don't remember what that is.
Within the fiscal year, I believe it was, or within, I can't remember. I don't remember.
I know. See, that's why.
I think
But
it's
okay.
in here.
Just, I would be
But I don't know
interested
that
in
there's a
having the
limit.
project kind of begin, middle, end, knowing that you do have.
Well, we obviously,
bureaucratic.
we have the 250th celebration committee
Would be a good.
is not the 300th celebration committee. So we are well aware
Right.
of the,
That seems so short there.
it is very short. We have every
We're gonna
week.
get back to the studio.
And may I make one other point before you all conclude? And I don't want to be presumptuous, but if this commission finds our proposal to be exciting and appropriate for our city's involvement in the American Revolution and all that we did, I would ask, because of the nature of this project, you consider the following. The payment schedule that you offer your artists be adapted to reflect the amount of money that we have to put out with fabricators and installers who don't like to wait for their money. The art team, I can tell you, has spent pro bono so many hours already on this, but I would ask you if we could consider a more expedited payment plan, or at least one that gives us sufficient funds up front. The second point I would ask for is that we have a history, and obviously we'll work with the Office of Law, but we have a history with the 300th Charter 300 exhibition of a really appropriate contract where the city owned the art and we warrantied it for a period. The city had then obligations to insure it because it was their art. And we would ask that that contract be seriously considered as the template for this project as well, relying, of course, on your Office of Law to tell you that that contract is still appropriate. Thank you.
Thank you.
Chuck,
All righty. Thank you.
Chuck,
Oh, go. John, you
currently-
have something?
in our rules of procedure and grant monitoring, we provide the first payment of 25% within 30 days of the signature of the award, and the remaining 75% is upon completion of the project. Now, for us to do what I think you're suggesting would require us to either come up with a carve-out or amend our rules of procedure.
Right. It would require legislation. This is because oh wait, maybe not. This is just in our rules,
This
right?
is just in our rules.
It's our
Okay.
rule.
Yeah. So
I would ask you to be innovative in terms of if I may say so. Well, I again, because
No, I
of
get it. I'm just telling you what our rules. current rules
I
are.
appreciate that.
Chuck, give us a payment schedule. We'll look at it.
Okay, so I thank you. I will. I think we should move on to the next presentation because we still have a lot of. I think all of us have a lot of questions, but we do need to discuss it amongst ourselves. But I do want to hear from the film festival before it's 8:00. So
Thank you so very much.
thank you.
Thank you
you.
for your time.
Thanks for all your work.
Thanks for all the work that you put together so far and for all your longstanding collaboration with our commission. You are our oldest partners. We thank you.
I think Art Walk's older than the
may be the
commission.
Okay.
Okay, so we're ready to hear from Lee and Patty. Okay. Oh, okay. Chris, while they're setting up their presentation, you want to go ahead and do your piece? Thank you.
The second application tonight is from the Annapolis Film Festival Incorporated. It seeks a grant in the amount of $35,000 for the film festival that will occur in March of 2026. Its application included a general proposal to cover those parts of the film festival that are designed to make it more accessible and broad-based and even free to the public or to various publics within the city, including school children. The film festival has received grants from the commission in prior years, and I think the commission is familiar with its mission and the delivery of its successful film festivals. The application amount is for $35,000, and I'll leave it at that.
Thank you. Lee and Patty, could you please introduce yourself to the watching public in case there is a single person in the city of Annapolis who does not know who you are?
I'm sure there
And
are.
then you're free to begin your presentation.
Thank you. I'm Lee Anderson. I'm the festival director and co-founder of, we usually say this together, of the Annapolis Film Festival and Film Society.
Yeah, so I'm Patty White, and I'm Patty White, and I'm also the festival director and co-founder of this festival, which we started 14 years ago. This will be our 14th year. It started in the back room of 49 West when a bunch of us got together and decided Annapolis needed a film festival because a lot of other towns that were similar to ours around the country that we had been visiting and seeing just didn't live up to what Annapolis would bring to a film festival. So that's how we started.
So one of the things we get to share with all of you tonight, we've done sort of a soft rollout at our screening last week at the Film Society, but we'll get full force. We're doing a joint press release with the city and Visit Annapolis and the Arts Council. We have just been selected as one of the 25 coolest film festivals in the entire world by Movie Maker magazine.
And
So
there are
we're
12,000 film festivals
we're really
in the world.
excited. Yeah, there's 12,000 festivals worldwide, so and it's pretty exciting. So,
But also, before we go on, in Movie Maker, in the little blurb that it has, the little story it has about us, it really focuses on what an amazing town Annapolis is. And that's what we're really excited about it, because it just didn't just talk about the festival and what we do, but why it's so important to have it in a place like Annapolis.
have all of you been to the festival? I hope
Okay,
so,
good.
right? I've seen your faces. So, well, we have a snippet just from last year that we wanted to share.
Yeah, 2 minutes.
I can figure out how to use a PC.
We're Mac people, so it's like very confusing when we get on a PC.
Oh, thank you. There we go.
Whoop, no sound.
Sorry.
there's not. It worked when Josh was here before.
Really loud.
Yeah.
Yeah. Does anyone use a PC?
Yeah.
No,
There's-
didn't have sound.
It's sound. Do you have it?
I think it might be the.
Well, we can narrate it, unfortunately.
Yeah. Yeah, this
We have music and
My name's-
comments. Oh,
Okay. Oh, what happened?
that was part of it, wasn't it?
Buscando Alma, Magic Hour,
It's
There it
this
is, I hear it.
dark comedy about dating apps.
a transgender Honduran immigrant who was separated from her mother. It's about reclaiming a lost dream that I had forever.
I don't know.
Well, it won't
a town
because
that loves the festival
then
more than
we-
this
we
one.
lose
All those
the
shared
kind of
conversations.
unplug and replug it back method.
We just heard a little
I
bit of
know.
it, right?
HDMI always is supposed to carry video and audio
Stepping
signal.
into a story that they're uncomfortable with and coming to a new one.
Welcome to
Let me take it away.
2025's Annapolis Film Festival. This year's theme is A New World.
Because this place just goes off. My name's Ethan Hislop, and I'm here for my film Loser Date Premium. Princeton's in the mix.
Buscando Alma, Magic Hour,
It's this dark comedy about dating apps.
a transgender Honduran immigrant who was separated from her mother. It's about reclaiming a lost dream that I had forever.
I don't know a town that loves the festival more than this one.
All those shared conversations, the shared watching of the films together, it means so much later.
This is about people feeling comfortable with stories that represent them, the worlds they live in, and or stepping into a story that they're uncomfortable with and coming to a new understanding about what it is to be in that other world. Everything here is 100% authentic, for better or worse.
People don't even realize how much they want this, expect it, and need it.
I'm here for a short that I'm looking to pitch. It's called Paper Boats. It's all about love, loss, and the need for connection, which is a universal thing that everybody needs.
It follows the story of an older man. He's in his early 80s, and he loses his wife.
We see the ramifications of this throughout a year, throughout several years, throughout 13 years. We see how people have come together, friendships have been made, unlikely friendships, all because of the film festival.
Anyway, that was just a little sneak of last year. So the festival is heading into year 14. We've now gotten international acclaim from this recent award, which is very exciting for the city. Everyone's really excited about it. They just published 5,000 copies of the magazine and opened it at the American Film Market, which is international in Los Angeles, last week. So
This we feel like it's a great way to have Annapolis part of the global community in the arts. And it's hard to do that with a town. A film festival is one way because film festivals spread the information and the art together. You know, it's not like painting. It's different it's a different form of art. And I think that's always been one of the problems people trying to figure out where does this place, how is this looked at? Because in one hand, you know, people say, well, documentary is very much informational, you know, as opposed to, but it's also very artistic. The way documentaries are made today are so cinematic. They're really taking you through, you know, breathtaking situations and scenes all over the world. And that with our narratives and our short films, we have animations. I mean, there's nothing that we don't have at the Annapolis Film Festival. We cover the gamut. And one of the things that we're most proud of, this festival was built on an assumption when we started this, that we wanted to have a festival for our community. Yes, we wanted the industry interested. Yes, we wanted people coming from all over, but we wanted it to fit into Annapolis and be important and relevant to Annapolis. And so we have these showcases that we built. One of them is the Black Experience. It's been with us for 14 years, and it's incredible. We give the Impact Award whenever we feel like it fits the scenario. We have a Latinx experience, we have the Jewish experience, we have the faith experience, and we have an environmental showcase, we have a sailing showcase. We've really covered our community in so many ways, and that was really important to us because we were told in our early days, they said, you'll never be able to have a festival in Annapolis because it's too separated. People won't come together.
They did say that.
And we said, well, we're going to program for that, and we're going to allow that to happen naturally and organically. And over the years, that's what's happened, and that's what we're most proud of. And so when we have a Jewish experience or a Black experience or a Latinx experience, you're not just getting people from that experience coming. You're getting a blended audience, and that's what we've worked hard to do.
Everybody wants bagels, lox, and coffee on Sunday morning. We got a complaint because somebody said, you do realize that there are also Jewish sailors, because we had counter-programmed that. So we've taken that into future consideration.
Yes.
But, it really has represented the festival. And as we've grown, we've tried to offer more opportunities for free programming. So some of that has been expanding, which we're very excited about. And some of it's been a mainstay. So some of our, hopefully I can, okay. This is just a little bit about our history, but we have multiple programs that are free to the public. Probably the least known and largest impact of that program would be our what we call Education Day, and that's 700 Anne Arundel County high school kids essentially going on a film field trip. And it's been really successful. We've heard incredible feedback. We've witnessed the kids. We had Isha Price, Venus and Serena's sister here, who produced King Richard, to talk with the kids. And she was telling them how Venus and Serena always had tennis, and some kid yells from the audience, "What did you have?" Because she's a lawyer. She said, "Well, I used to sing at church." And one of the kids goes, "Sing for us." And all of a sudden, she just busts out and sings the Beyonce song. It was a moment. It was a great moment. We've had a film called Empire Waste, and it's about not fitting in. And we brought the entire cast of Misfits.
We also
actors.
had a robotic film last year that took place in the Middle East. And it was, we had a cast from that as well. So we try to bring in people for these Q&As for the kids, yes, that it's always a wonderful thing. But we do that across the board. And we also give free tickets to a big part of Boys and Girls Club and People for Our Black Experience. We provide a lot of
El Centro de Ayuda
for our Latin experience. Wherever we can find places, because we have big theaters, so we can still have the public come and still have a section that we can have a certain number of tickets that we can provide. So people who want to see this and who need to see this can see it. We make that available to them.
Last year we were able to offer any kid under 18 free admission to the Faith Experience, which is a new showcase we introduced last 2 years. We also provide a student showcase, and that's the work of emerging filmmakers. They're high school, college, grad school, or just starting out filmmakers, and we're trying to recognize early work. And now we've had many of those young emerging filmmakers return multiple times, where we're actually following the work of those artists as they evolve. And we were just in Toronto at the film festival, and we're walking down the street, and here's a kid. We've had 2 of his shorts, and he's sitting in a cafe, Aaron Kolodny, and he's like, "Hey, you guys." And we came over, and we just found out that he'd just written Gus Van Zant's new movie, and that's why he was there. So now he's graduated to features. So it's exciting to follow that work and see everybody grow, and many times those student films actually are nominated for Student Academy Awards. So they're very top quality. That's a totally free to the public program.
The student film, our student showcase is totally free to anybody. Anybody can go to the student films, and it's always packed. People come, not just the people who made the films and their families, but we get a lot of people who want to come and see the student showcase.
Also,
We
our local
have the
focus.
Yeah, I want to talk
wanna
about
talk
the
about
local focus, because that we've had from the beginning as well. And that's either Maryland or in the vicinity, in the
DMV.
area. The filmmaker is from the area, or the story is connected to the area. There's a relevance to Baltimore, Annapolis, or whatever in Maryland, the Chesapeake. And so we have films every year, and that we give some tickets to that away. That is not a free for everybody, but we do provide free tickets for that as well. So there's not anything except the brand new films coming off the belt, so to speak, coming into that are going to be in the theaters soon and stuff. Those films we sometimes provide tickets for a certain, like we might say the Boys and Girls Club would like some for this because it might fit their interest, or other places. But that's the only place where we don't give as many free tickets with the brand new films, unless they're definitely connect to an area. But all our showcases, environmental, everything, we provide free tickets.
We also offer student passes that they're tremendously discounted for kids that can afford them, but we give many away.
Right.
And a student pass gets you into everything. Opening night after party, gets you into unlimited films, and one of our best kept secrets, we have probably some of the best industry panels around. And industry panels are on Friday. There's 4 of them, and there are 2 other panels on the weekend. There's always a directors roundtable of directors who are present, who are showing their work, and a women's panel on Sunday. So all of that's free, and it's the most recent relevant information in the industry that's happening. And so that's free for anybody's student. We want them to be there. We encourage them to go to learn and understand this. So we also have something called Coffee Talks. You want to?
Yeah, well, Coffee Talks we have every morning, Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. It's before all of our films start. It's over at the Ram's Head. And we have what we call our drop-in filmmakers. So we kind of tell them, when we'd like them to come. And they come in, coffee, and they sit down up on the stage there. But it's all casual. And they might be 4 or 5 filmmakers together. And they're telling stories kind of out of school, all the behind-the-scenes stories. And we're getting a bigger and bigger audience for this. People just love it. The people who come to this absolutely love it. That is free to students. Anybody with a student ID can go to this for free.
And it includes breakfast as well, and we do that at the Ram's Head. So we actually partner with 19 venues in the city during the festival. We reduced 1 screening venue last year just to save costs. So we have 2 screens at Maryland Hall, upstairs in the Big Theater and in the Bowen Theater. We transform Asbury United Methodist Church into a screening venue. And of course, St. John's. We weaseled our way back into St. John's last year, thankfully. And we have that as a venue as well.
Thank you.
Also, there's one other thing that we have what we call the Shorts Challenge, which is our big pitch competition. And that's filmmakers who send us from all over the world, basically, but America mostly. And we pick 5 of the best pitches, and we bring them in, and they pitch on the stage to an audience.
In front of judges.
In front of their judges, and then they get critiqued. Their work gets critiqued, and then afterwards the judges choose who's going to get the package that's going to help them make their film. And these are often Sometimes they're student filmmakers, college students, young filmmakers. Others have just emerging filmmakers who haven't really had a chance to have their voice heard. And our audience is filling up, and we also give free tickets to that. Students can get into that as well. So,
and we bring in and travel all of these guests. I mean, we have between 70 and 100 visiting industry and filmmakers over 4 days, and they're from everywhere. We had a blind filmmaker that came all the way from Australia in the outback, and we had a volunteer that was her guide, and he walked her all over the city and even took her on the Naval Academy yard while she was here.
What's great is that our filmmakers love to use the restaurants. They go to everything in town when they're here.
Okay, thank you. I will, if anyone has any questions, Joe.
Just a quick one to tag on to what your last statement was. In your mission that has the 3 parts, accessibility, education, and inclusion, could you elaborate more on the accessibility portion, like how you might appeal to people with different types of disabilities? And
yes.
Tell me more about that.
Well, we've had disability films.
Yeah, we do always have a disability film. I think you're talking about access, actual access.
Yeah, accessibility to the film.
It's a great question and an important question. We do have a commitment to that as well. So all of our venues are handicapped accessible for wheelchairs and handicapped restroom. We also work with Maryland Hall as hearing assisted devices. Then we work with our tech team where we actually request what's called a CRT file. It's the closed caption file on film. So especially a lot of our foreign films, we now have learned that we can somewhat adjust the height a little bit on the bottom of the screen to raise and lower, because the Bowen is a flat floor, so it's challenging to show foreign films there with subtitles. So we like to have more, we're requesting closed captioning for people that have that. And there are some apps that people use where they can see the closed captioning on their phone while they're watching the movie on the screen. So we're trying to make all of those things more accessible. And we also spend about $12,000 piping and draping the main theater at Maryland Hall because the sound's atrocious in there for film. Right. So we try to deaden the sound as much as we can so that people that do have older hearing or, we try to make it the best audio possible so that it's clear and people can hear the film.
Yeah, thank you.
Does that answer your question?
Yes, it does. Thanks very much.
Thank you. Thank you. David.
Hi, good afternoon, good evening. A couple of questions for you. Could you elaborate a little bit about the Black experience, the Jewish experience, the Spanish experience? What is that? Is that just filmmakers? Is it films about the experience or film created by those communities, or both? Or
right.
Can you get more insight into that, please?
So our Black experience is our oldest experience that we've had at the festival. So we've had it from the very beginning.
Jewish from the beginning,
too. Jewish one too, yeah. And that one, what happens is we have a programming team and a director of programming, and I work closely with them to find the gems, the films that are going to be right for us and right for whatever our experience is. So we're looking for films that move the needle a bit, or even if it's an entertainment film, like we've had the Dionne Warwick film, and we've had the Sammy Davis Jr. film, and
John Coltrane.
Yeah, John Coltrane. We've had those films, but we've also had very serious documentary and other things that tell stories. So we're looking to engage an audience, and also what happens is our Black audience that comes for these, they love these films because they're so different. They're all different, but they like to engage in the Q&A afterwards because we usually have the filmmaker, at least the director or the producer, and most of the time they're of color, and they are, a lot of times they've had challenges making these films, getting them made, and they can address all of that. And people feel like they've been seen, their voices have been heard, and it's really, really important. And we're very excited. I can't tell you what it is yet, but we're very excited about the film
Can we
we're going to
tell
have
them?
this year.
Can we tell them?
I don't
Come
know.
on.
Well, I mean, it's not signed on the
You can
dotted
do it.
line.
You can tell me.
You can tell us. You can tell us.
So
We'll keep it secret.
usually,
tell
usually we don't have the showcases locked down this early. Just but
this one.
Oh,
this
right.
is-
We're,
yeah,
oh,
right.
I guess we can't say it.
Right.
Right. So
we
we're not
haven't
going to
sent
tell
out an
you.
acceptance
We'll
letter.
tell you afterwards.
Okay.
We'll tell you on the DL.
Just one more question, real quick. I noticed you have like 70 films. Could you give me a percentage of the filmmakers that are local?
Well, the local focus usually is where the local filmmakers show their work.
Okay.
Yeah.
And we really encourage everyone to submit because they're in their neighborhood, their area, and they want to invite family and friends. And we want them to have that experience of presenting their work and answering a Q&A in front of them, hearing an audience react to their film. So
They're also in the Shorts Challenge. A lot of them have made it into the Shorts Challenge, our local people. We've had probably every year there's somebody from the area
All
that's
colleges.
gotten into, been selected on their work, too.
So the local artists are mostly in those showcases that you mentioned.
Yeah, in the local art, would you?
they're
The
usually
local-
put together into a program called Local Focus.
It's called Local Focus. So
And that's where it has either a filmmaker from Maryland or a tie to Maryland or it's filmed in Maryland.
story in Maryland.
Got it. Okay, cool. Thank you.
What percentage are
Jim?
your local films?
Pardon?
What percentage, Jim? Is that what you're asking?
Of all the films you show, what's the percentage of local films?
Not that many. I mean,
No, I mean,
because
they're in
there's
the-
just not. This isn't
Just curious.
They're in
LA.
the showcase, so they're,
Right.
they're in the Maryland. They're in the Local Focus in Maryland. So they're probably that's usually short films. So we probably have maybe 6 to 8 short films in that section. And then if somebody's made a film that is acceptable, that we want to play, that fits our program and our programming level, then they will play in the regular part of the program. If it's a feature or a documentary will play in the actual regular.
For example, last year, our environmental showcase, we lucked out. We got a film that was shot on Tangier Island. And we got to bring the mayor of Tangier Island here for the Q&A with a bunch of environmental experts. And it was a big hit. People loved it. His name was Euchre. And he was a character, and people loved meeting Euchre. And the island is sinking. It's going to sink eventually.
Several of our environmental films. Also our sailing showcase, which Gary Jobson usually hosts. And we bring in the filmmakers from there. And even if they're not, from Maryland, the fact is Gary brings it back into the sailing scene from here. And he offers so much to make that showcase feel like it has a imprint of Annapolis,
But to answer your question, we look for those kinds of films. So we had like another film a couple years ago. It was called No Legs, All Heart, and it was a true story of the first paraplegic to finish the race across America, which coincidentally ends at the city dock in Annapolis. So we flew this guy all the way from Italy in his wheelchair with assisted care to get him through the airports and everywhere. And he was here, and people went crazy because he came flying down the aisle at Maryland Hall in his wheelchair and pulled himself up on the stage with no legs and climbed up in the director's chair and was there, and everybody just loved it because at the last scene in the movie, he literally throws himself in the water off the city dock. So we do look for programs that tie into stories here.
All right, thank you. Carissa, you have a question?
Yes, one of the things that I really love about what you all are doing is the outreach that you do within the community for the youth and for our teens and those going into college. I studied film in college at the University of Maryland, and I think it's so important. And so what I wondered was, to David's point in asking, how many people are you reaching? have you guys done any kind of archiving of statistics of the outreach within the community? I'm not asking you to do that. I'm just saying it might be helpful to chart the history for the city, especially since you're getting into so much focus now globally, to really keep track of that. And that helps us because one of the responsibilities that we have is to fund the art for the city and for the people of our ward. And, you know, we all represent our ward. So that's one of the things that we do after you all go away. That's one of the things that's important to us, especially to me, is to pick the art that I feel my ward is going to get excited about, or that will involve my ward, or maybe spark an interest in the arts for someone, you know, growing up and moving on to be excited about. And so that's one of the things that I was wondering if you guys haven't thought about that might be something in the future that you could think about, because from what I understand, it's been growing and growing.
It has.
And as you mentioned today, you are now, you know, we're raising filmmakers that are now getting awards and that are really making it. And I think promoting that a little bit more throughout the city, I think would be something that I would be excited about to hear more about. So
I think you raise a good point, because we've done it mostly anecdotally, like the things we're throwing out to you, but I think it would be interesting to follow. And like the guy we ran into in Toronto, we have invited young filmmakers back. We had a guy, Chester, and
Elegance
and Chester from Baltimore. They had 2 shorts here. Then Elegance directed his first feature called The Inspection, about his life in the Marine Corps, and now he's going on to direct other bigger things. So we do need to track the journey. Because they still live in Baltimore.
I think what you're saying is really interesting, because each ward, and you guys, the great thing about the Annapolis Film Festival is we're reaching to everyone. And if we're doing our job right, and I hope we are, but if we are, the relevance of the films that we're bringing in, because they're so curated differently, you know, they're curated for different reasons, and we feel we have an eye on what this city is really interested in, and not just what they're interested in, what they're entertained by, and also what they need, what they might need to know that's from the outside world that's not in here, but that Annapolis needs to be aware of and needs to be part of our intelligence, because this is how cities grow and this is how they become enlightened, you know. And just like every other, this is what we found traveling to other film festivals, that usually if a festival's done well, it changes, has a big change on a city. And we're seeing that in Annapolis, and a lot of people have told us that. Just the way people are with each other, the way they share community things. I mean, we've built this around community. And
the roundtables that you do, just to speak to David's point too, about how we're reaching and also providing things that don't cost to go to, right? So the coffees that you're doing, the roundtables and things, I think are really great. And I think that's something that if we do elect to support again in the future, getting word out to the community to make sure that people are aware that they can go to those things and they're not limited by any kind of age or anything, which then, you know, is another exclamation point on the education of what is happening within our film community and our arts community. So thank you very much for being here today.
It's taken a while, but the local colleges now know to tell their students they can get free tickets or student passes. So a lot of the university kids are coming now. We're seeing a younger uptick in attendees, which is great.
Cynthia, you have a question?
Thanks again for coming, and really kudos to you, 14 years. I don't have your application in front of me, but I was wondering, who are your corporate sponsors this year?
We're waiting to see on a few.
We have a few in the works that we probably can't say who they are yet, but we have some returning. I mean, to be really honest with you, that's our biggest weakness. We don't have big corporate sponsors. We have people. We're 65% funded by individual donors. We're 10% funded by pass and ticket sales. We're 10% funded by grants.
I know over the course of time, because we initially, 14 years ago, we helped to fund you, gave you the starter money to get things off
Yes.
the ground.
Yes.
But I do notice as the years go by, you have more and more corporate sponsorship or philanthropic.
A lot of that is,
sponsors,
a lot of
but-
it's in kind, thankfully, thank goodness. It's huge, not to ever be understated or underestimated. It helps tremendously, but we're at this growth point where things are they cost more now. I mean, airfares, hotels, everything. I don't have to tell you guys, but we have been undergoing a training program that's helping us teaching us how to fish for corporate sponsors, basically. So we've revitalized our whole approach and our whole marketing approach to that, and we hope we have better luck. We do have some returning sponsors. We have a couple of Merrill Lynch branches. We have Synergix Films, Tito's Vodka, places like that. But we really feel like we've reached, because of all the help from the community, we're at a point where we can really reach out for regional and national sponsors now. So we're hopeful.
Have you applied for any grants?
All the time.
Yeah.
Okay, so
And we have the Maryland
which
State
ones?
Arts Council. We have
Maryland State Arts Council.
Okay.
Anne Arundel County Arts Council. It didn't make sense to do National Endowment for Humanities because that got the axe this year.
Right.
A lot of private foundations, family trusts and foundations for small gifts.
Okay,
yeah.
you mentioned about the 700 high schoolers. Which high schools are these
Good
students
question.
from?
So we have the Annapolis High School and all the Anne Arundel County schools. What they were doing is busing. They were providing buses and they were bringing in the students, and we provided free film, free Q&A. We brought in the talent, we brought in everybody, and we would fill up Maryland Hall. So that we would, as many as we could get. Now there's been a change in the who's running that program there. So we have to now go back to the school and make sure that they realize the importance that this is given these kids. For a while, PG County was sending some kids. We were doing half Annapolis half Anne Arundel County and half PG County because we couldn't get enough kids from Annapolis that they wouldn't play ball with us. Then they got totally into it and they take up every seat at Maryland
Then we
Hall.
were turning kids down, and that was a problem. So we didn't really want to
But
do that.
It's an exciting day. We call it Friday. It's Friday morning at Maryland Hall. Buses come in, the kids come out, 9 o'clock in the morning, and they get to see a film, and then they get their lunch on the bus and taken back to school. And we've heard from teachers and students and everybody that it's just such an exciting thing for them because they don't get to see these kind of films. They're not watching this at school, and they're generally not going to the movies except to see superhero things. So when we bring something special like this and we have people talking about it, it makes them, some of these kids want to be filmmakers or they want to know more about it. They want to be writers. Some of them just are into the material that they're watching and they're seeing. But
Or they're
again, it's
relating
about
to it.
growing. It's about growing. And that's
You do a summer thing too, right? The
that's
summer.
separate from the film festival.
That's
a
Film
different
Stars
foundation.
Academy. That's part of, we have a
non-production
production company and a
But
summer
that's-
film program. But we love kids.
We're raised, for 25 years we've been teaching kids how to make short films there. So we're all about
And several of them are in New York and LA working in the industry. So that's exciting.
yeah.
Thank you, ladies. We really appreciate you taking the time to come and talk with us this evening. I
It's
love
good to see everybody.
I love the film festival. So I've been going for 14 years.
Yes, you've never missed.
I've never missed. The first year we didn't take off work.
Then you learn.
Right, that Friday, but every year since then,
Yeah, me
my
too.
friends and I have all
I hope
taken
you
off
all
work on
come.
Friday, and
Can we plug something? There's a really good movie. We just had a sneak preview. If you missed it last week,
I missed it. I'm sorry. Yeah,
it's opening on the 26th of November. It's great over the holiday. Take your family, take your loved ones, your friends.
And those are
Annapolis
local. That's a
Forum,
local
yeah.
team.
And yeah, it's her two sons produced it. It's called Eternity. It's Miles Teller and Elizabeth Olsen and
It's on
Dave
my list.
Joy
It's on your
Randolph
list.
from
Yeah,
the
it's on my
Holdovers.
list.
It's a.
I'm sorry I missed the preview at Maryland.
Yeah, I'm sorry I
I wanted to
missed
see
it.
it, but
I am too.
There was a
I'm
lot
definitely gonna
happening
see
that
it.
evening. So what I'll say is, we always love to see a film from Tim and Trevor. So anytime.
This one is a really feel good.
Oh, good.
This one's
It's
a good
like-
one.
All right. Thank you. We do have a little more work to do tonight. So
I'm sure you do.
Thank you all
Well,
so
thank
much.
you.
Thank you guys. It's wonderful to be in front of you. Thank you for caring about the arts in Annapolis and for all that you
We
do.
appreciate it so much, really. Okay.
Okay, I'm gonna ask that if we have committee reports, I'm gonna ask that you all send out emails. Oh, Barbara, but you have something that you wanted to share with everyone, right?
No, I can just send an email.
Okay, so I'm gonna ask that you send your committee reports through email, and then I think what we'll do now is consider the two proposals we have. Is that's correct, right? We're to vote on them tonight, right?
Yes, that's right.
Yeah,
And
okay.
I would suggest one at a time.
Yes.
Close
Oh,
the
obviously.
deliberations, vote, and then
Yes.
open the deliberations. and vote.
Yeah, obviously. So
That'll be at our December meeting.
I'm sorry.
We'll have
No, we vote this evening.
You're going to vote tonight on them?
Yes.
Okay.
So I'm willing to entertain, we should entertain a motion to fund or to not fund, and then we will have a discussion once the motion is on the table. Okay, that's Robert's rules, and that's the appropriate way to do this. So I will entertain a motion to fund or not the art walk.
I'll move to fund the art walk.
Okay.
I second.
Thank you. Alrighty, is there any discussion? John?
Being the new guy here, I don't know how the ebb and flow of arts grants works throughout the year, and I'm sure I'll learn that as I go along. I look at Art Walk, that's based upon the financial presentation earlier, that's over a third of the budget that we have this year. And I don't know if we would anticipate more applications in the spring. I just don't know how, if you put all your eggs in one basket, you got to watch that basket. But I don't know if other people will be coming in, if there's events like City Dock music festivals that they have. I love what they do. But I see a third of our budget.
Okay. Oh, David.
The question was, how much are we funding? I know you want to fund them. How much? Do you want to fund the whole 52,000 or a
Well,
portion of that?
that was the motion to get it under
The whole
discussion.
52,000?
Right.
Okay.
That doesn't mean it can't be pared down
Right.
if that's the way the commission feels.
Just want to be clear.
Cynthia.
I do want to take into consideration for the discussion that these circumstances are unusual. This is the only existing 250-year celebration, commemoration, and I think they're working on a very short timeline. I think they're already behind the curve. Most cities and states have done a lot more planning for the 250th. So I think these collaborators, who are, once again, our oldest partners, they're very reliable. I think we also should consider waiving the rules so that they get their money up front. They didn't ask for any money for their planning stages. They've already put in a lot of time on this project, and they're collaborating with the Naval Academy. I would say we should, I feel obligated to fund the whole amount. And you mentioned the City Dock Summer Concert Series, but City Dock is under construction. There's no summer concert series at City Dock. So I think that money could go toward this project. Once again, if they did not assume responsibility for the maintenance of the Harlan mural, we would have had obligation to fix that mural, and it was going to be about $40,000 to repair the mural. It's in, you know, it's aged. So I feel strongly that we should fund the whole amount in respect for the 250th celebration.
Okay, I have one question. Can you clarify when you said this is the only
existing? Do you know any other projects that are currently ongoing for the 250th year celebration for the city of Annapolis?
Well, I would imagine that there is a commission.
This is sort of the biggest one.
Well,
This
there is a commission, and I'm sure they are planning things.
Well,
for example, they are doing the Voices piece. So I'm not sure that that's
no,
true.
I think that you know, this is, as far as I know, the only project. Maybe Chris Jakubiak is aware of other projects to commemorate the 250th. Perhaps you could share that with us.
Okay. All right. I doubt that it's the only thing, but go ahead, Krista.
This is discussion, so this isn't to vote on a motion or anything. I have concern, as I mentioned earlier, about making motions for these projects without knowing exactly what's going to go up. Right? I think we do have a responsibility, to your point, Lynn, of doing a little research on subject matter, topics, sensitivities, and things like that with regards to what the artist is going to do. Now, I'm big on the artist having the right to do whatever the artist wants to do, but I also think because we basically are curating to some extent, right? We're the head curators of what is going to be in the city, that we also want to make sure that we know that if we're going to give $52,000 or 51 or 40, or we go down to 30 or whatever 20, whatever we decide to do, I'd like to know what it actually is that we're going to put forth. Let me finish.
Go ahead. I was going to say the city code, I think, requires that we approve the image.
Ladies, please read.
They have provided
it's on
that
here.
in their
Read
report.
page 2. It is the Greg Harlan statue, or the mural is going to be exactly the same. And they did
not say that.
Yes, it is.
No, they did not say. They said
it's going to be the same.
No, they said.
I think I have the floor right now. Do I have the floor?
Yes, I'm sorry, Cynthia.
I have the floor right now.
Hang on. Yes, Krista, go ahead. Finish.
Read it.
Finish. Cynthia, please. Go ahead and finish, Krista.
I think there's a misunderstanding.
According to what was presented, they might redo the original image. There might be 3 other images.
They're redoing the Greg
Cynthia, please.
Harlan
Cynthia,
image.
please do not interrupt Krista. Krista is talking.
This is
Will
a
you
miscommunication.
please allow her?
She's not understanding.
She does understand. She does understand, but you cannot interrupt her. So, Krista, go ahead. I'm sorry.
Oh, that's okay. My point being is that if we are going to fund, it's one thing to fund the function of the art, like how they're going to put it up and how much it's going to cost to actually put it up, the supplies and things like that, right? To some extent, like when we have music, we sometimes will fund the sound system, or have the mixers and the people that we have to pay for to actually do that for some of the performances. So thank you, Lynn, for confirming that we will have the right to approve the image, because I think that's an important thing for us to do and to have discussion on it. The 52 is a big chunk, although to Cynthia's point, Art Walk is very important to the city. So I do think that this is something that we do want to consider. Also, the fact that we got an extra $14,000 that we didn't expect to get. That's something that I think we can put into play for both of these projects. I know we're just talking about the one right now. But these are some of the thoughts that are going through my head, because the 3 additional images that they were talking about possibly doing, one of them I like, the others I'm not so sure about, and I'd like to know more information on the history on them. That's all I have to say.
Okay, thank you. John, you have oh, wait, I'm sorry. Joan has a question first.
I just wanted to clarify. For me, I believe that enough, given this artist's track record, given the visual material that was presented, I feel confident that even in worst case scenario, we have the final say, but I feel confident that the artwork will not stray too far from what we were presented. And I don't think there's a lot of risk. I don't foresee them coming out with something totally different from what we have been presented tonight. I feel confident that they are highly, highly professional. So that does not worry me. But with that luckily, I'm not luckily, but we have the safety net of if something out of the blue comes out of the side, we have that option to refuse. I don't know if Naval Academy is the one choosing those artworks. So
That's what I'm wondering too.
I'm pretty sure that's the case.
Yes, thank you. So thank you, Joan. That is a good point, that if the Naval Academy is making the choice initially, then, right.
And are they funding
go ahead,
it?
Barbara. I'm sorry, Barbara.
Are they funding anything for it?
Well, Barbara, go
Sorry.
ahead.
Yes, thank you.
Oh, I'm sorry. John had his hand up first, and then Barbara.
Yeah, I just want to
Sorry.
clarify, I violated my fundamental rule, and that is not to do math publicly. It's actually a quarter of our budget, not a third.
Okay. Thank you. All right, Barbara.
Okay, thanks, Madam Chair. To piggyback on what Joan was saying about the Greg Harlan's John Paul Jones Ranger, I'm looking at attachment number 6, and they give us 4 alternatives with per USNA approval. So, of course, because it's federal land, they have to have approval. But there are these 4 here that are kind of selection. So if the Ranger's not going to go back to its current location, then we've got these 4 images here, and they're all very reflective of the experience of the American Revolution. I don't know if you guys have had a chance to see it. I don't see
Yeah, I've seen them.
potentially controversial about any of these 4, and I don't think, other than maybe perhaps what you were saying about the Ranger, finding some more about that particular ship. But the other scenes are very emblematic of the American Revolution, and I don't think we're going to have any issues with those alternatives.
Okay. So, Joan, go ahead.
Two more points, or one to add on. One is that this also, let's not overlook the wonderful side benefit of that maintenance issue that has been brought up numerous times before about aging artwork throughout the city. This will be effective. We didn't have to do one thing to get 2 pieces renovated and refurbished and refreshed. So I think that also should be considered, take heavily weight in your decision, my decision too. And then finally, this Greg Harlan is in this recent documentary, Glenn Burns, and that's going to be a priceless piece of artwork. That's a very, very artwork that will be received.
That's a good point. Jim.
Carissa, this is what you're worried about.
No, that's not it.
That's not what we're talking about.
No, that's not it.
Jim. No, we were talking about the Naval Academy.
We're talking
and
about
I've seen the renderings of what they have.
Well,
My next question, if I can, is it okay to be
can't believe I would
recognized?
be
I'm sorry. Hang on. Jim, do you have a question?
The artwork at the Naval Academy suffered from fading. They're replacing that artwork.
But no, they have some alternatives.
artwork.
They don't know. They said that they would go to the Naval Academy for approval of the images, and so, but we would have the final say. If we fund this, we would have the final say. But I believe that the city code says that any public art in the city needs to be approved by the Art and Public Places Commission. Chris, you have that part of the code there.
Thank you. I will just mention it's section 248-750B1 of the city code. All visual art in public places, which this is what this is, shall receive the prior review of the commission. That's what it says.
Yeah. Thank you. Krista, go ahead.
There we go. When we have funded or helped to fund other murals, do we have a max of what we've done so far? Because 52 seems to be a lot, although it's for two locations. So
I don't think we've ever considered a maximum.
Right, but the last ones that we've funded have not been to this extent for murals, correct?
The last one we funded was the one on Leo, and I
last
believe
one
that was 15,000.
Right. So just to put in perspective, I think, we were talking about whether we should make a motion for the 52 or, in the past, we've made motions for lesser amounts when we haven't felt that we could or wanted to support them full out. So I just want to be fair and consistent in some respects, although to Cynthia's point about the fact that this is celebrating the 250th, to Lynn's point that the artist is working and collaborating with Ken Burns, these things do need to be put into consideration as well.
So I just want to make a couple points. Hang on, Cynthia. I just want to make a couple points because I haven't spoken to this yet. I have a number of concerns. The first one is that they do not have an agreement with or any written approval or concession from either the Naval Academy or the state to do this work. That's the first thing. And so I'm very concerned about that. And I'm also concerned, very concerned about the images and about us approving funding before we see the images and before we do the research on the images. Cynthia.
Okay, let's go back. At the very beginning of their presentation, they went over their new technique at Catherine Purple Cherry's artwork. They implemented the same image, but with better preservation techniques. Now, their intention, and we can clarify this with Chuck Walsh, but they just said the Greg Harlan image mural that Sally did in 2007, they're going to put the new image on top of it with better composite that is better resistant to the sun. Now, that is what was just presented. And on page 8 of the attachment page, page 8, they are resurfacing existing panels, okay, pending inspection. They are putting one piece of new artwork, but most of it will be the use of resurfacing techniques to do the same image, to preserve it with better materials that are more sun resistant. Now, I'm sorry, but we can clarify with Sally and Chuck Walsh, but that's what they're talking about. They're not talking about totally new images. This is their plan to repurpose the existing images as much as possible, which will save money. That was another thing they brought up.
I'd have to look at the minutes on that, but I thought that there was a mention that it would be up to the artists whether or not that they wanted to redo it or not.
Yes, and they also said that they would go back to the Naval Academy, that the Naval Academy would have approval over the image.
Do we?
But if I'm looking at the timeline, and part of the planning process says to engage in initial conversations around the artwork imagery themes as they pertain to the 250th milestone with original charter and Charter 300 and historical artists. So the images are up to be changed. It could be the same image, but it could be changed. So David, I'm sorry, go ahead, David, you have a question.
No, I'm just going to make a point. One of my questions to them was actually their timeline on choosing an image. That was my second question to them about the Naval Academy and the community in terms of how long what their time frame was to actually, because they mentioned they showed 3 or 4, I think 4 different artist renditions that they had as an option other than the one that was there. So I do believe the option is there for them to change that art or leave it. It's up to the government to decide. I just want to make that point.
I have a question. Is it possible to, is it okay to make my question? Is it possible to make a motion to present our questions to them and have them
Right.
reconvene?
We have to vote on the motion that's on the floor first.
Okay.
So why don't we go ahead and do that? Why don't we go ahead? We have a motion on the floor. Yes, Chris.
Madam Chair, as I'm a member, ex
Yes.
officio member, I
Yes.
exercise my right to contribute to discussions.
Please do.
Though I recognize I'm not a voting member. But and maybe I'll be somewhat helpful. I was really impressed with how well I thought this application actually met the criteria. And if you compared my staff report in this application to the staff report in the film festival, you see that there's one's pretty heavy, one's a little light. It's just the way they didn't match up just right. It seems to me like the criteria were really well suited to this type of installation or public installation art. It is expensive at $52,000, but given that it's likely to last in good condition for 12 years, that's only $4,000 a year, $4,300 a year when you think about it in that context. And the current proposals of art have lasted for a considerable amount of time. So these sort of permanent installations have a longer term impact on the community. And that's worth mentioning and considering. And it's something that I thought about too when I was reviewing the particular application. The imagery, I think, when I hear from Chuck Walsh and when I read and the way I was approaching it, is likely to be different. And the art at the Clay and Calvert Street is likely to be different. They even showed different shapes and dimensions. And I suspect it's a bit of a question about whether the art at the Naval Academy gate will be the same or different. I think they think it will be different, but the Naval Academy may say, no, if we're so attached to that particular image, we'd like you to refurbish that image. So it's a possibility that that image finds its way back on the framework. But it generally, from the city's standpoint, and I'm reflecting this position of the mayor in this particular case and the commission on the 250th anniversary and the department staff, we would encourage the commission to consider voting for this application in its full amount.
Thank you. Okay, John. And then this will be the last, and then we'll take the vote. Go ahead, John.
Pretty heavy. To address your concerns, what we would have to do is I would withdraw my motion. Somebody could move the table pending getting answers to questions. That's the procedural way to do that. To address your concern, Lynn, we could amend my motion. Somebody could offer an amendment to say that we'll approve it contingent upon them providing evidence that they have approvals to put the artwork where they say they're going to put it.
Okay. That the artwork would go where they're saying they're going to put it. So in other words, if we would provide them funding contingent upon the agreement of the Naval Academy and the agreement of the state of Maryland to allow them to replace those pieces, and then also contingent upon our approval of the images. So if you want, you can withdraw you want to withdraw your motion, John, and make a new motion, or
withdraw it.
No, I would just I'd like to amend my motion by adding the stipulation that we approve the money in total with the stipulation or the condition that we won't release the funds until they demonstrate to us that they have approvals to mount the artwork where they say they're going to mount them. No, I need a second for that.
And then and also that we approve the images.
And that we get an opportunity to review images.
Yeah. Okay. Alrighty. Is there a second?
I second the motion.
Okay. And the motion is to fully fund the request. Is that correct? For $52,000.
That's correct. The ex officio member persuaded me.
Okay. So
I have one question, and you're talking about the images with the Naval Academy approving them and the state of Maryland, but also for the other project as well, that we get to approve those images.
Well, we will have to go back to them on those. Yeah. But okay, so there is a motion on the floor to fund Art Walk for $52,000, contingent upon the approval from the state of Maryland and from the U.S. Naval Academy to replace the art that is currently there and that we would, and also contingent upon them showing that they have proof that they have approval from the Naval Academy and the state of Maryland to replace the artwork, and then also contingent upon our review and approval of the images. All those in favor?
Roll call.
We can do, oh, well, we can, you want to do a roll call? You can do a roll call.
Okay.
Go ahead, David.
Krista? Cynthia?
Aye.
David? Aye. Lynn?
Come back to me.
Barbara?
Aye.
John?
Aye.
Jim?
Aye.
Joan?
Aye.
Aye.
Motion carries.
Oh, wait.
Alrighty, thank you. Thank you so much. Alrighty, that's $52,000, and I will fill out the little form that Chris has given me before the end of the night. But I'll go ahead and entertain a motion on the film festival.
I move approval.
Okay. Alrighty. Are there any questions? Is there any discussion? Cynthia.
Approval of the film festival?
The film festival. He moved approval, and it was seconded. So, Cynthia, go ahead.
This event is on the city special events calendar. So every year they have their fees waived, which can amount to between $6,000 to $8,000. So I say we subtract that amount from their request because it could be the perception that they're double dipping from the city, from both the commission and the special events waiver of fees.
Thank you, Cynthia. Are there any other questions? Barbara?
I had a question. In their request, it's for $35,000. Then they have the breakdown by student showcase, education days. They discuss the diversity inclusion series. Then they have the last part, which is marketing and outreach, which is $4,000. Which I don't think that, I think that's maybe beyond our scope to be paying for the marketing.
Right.
So I would vote to strike the $4K off of that $35,000 request, if we could, if we could modify that.
I'll second that.
Okay. Well, hang on. It's not.
When you're
that's
ready
not
to make a motion.
Hang on. That's a question. Wait. Right. We have to vote on the first motion. Here's what I'll say. We did ask them to be sure that people know about the free things.
That's
and
true.
So that would.
I guess, Madam Chair, I'm worried about we get down the slippery slope about outreach because we've had this discussion before, and it would look as though the commission's uneven in giving out the money that we'll do outreach for this, but we won't for that. But if they're specifically going to do the marketing outreach for the education day or student showcase, if we include that language in our approval, then I'm fine with the $4,000.
I have a question about that, or a point about it. Barbara, one of the things that they did talk about pretty extensively was the outreach that they do with the children and the events and things. And also, Joan had brought up accessibility and the expenses of that. So that's included on that line where it says marketing, outreach, accessibility, and services, although there's not a breakdown of that $4,000. They are saying under the program cost that that's $16,000, and they're only asking $4,000 of us. So, if it's, marketing, I don't know. I don't have an issue with this. But if they're asking 35, I mean, we certainly, just to throw it out there, we certainly could say that we approve 30, that sort of thing.
Chris, I don't know if you heard what I said, that I would be fine with the $4,000 if they marketed specifically for those programs that she highlighted.
I'm agreement. I'm in agreement of that. I'm seconding what you're saying.
We will make. John, can you add that to your motion?
What are you asking for?
Oh my goodness, Jim! What
Well, I'm trying to
don't think he
follow
can
this,
hear.
but between yep.
So
what I want to understand is you want to remove the $4,000 from the
Yes.
request.
I'll reiterate, Jim, for you.
No, if that's all you want to do.
no, that's not no.
But
but-
Do we have a motion
Have this
on this?
discussion.
yeah. hang
But
on.
I'm just trying to explain to Jim, please,
Okay.
real quick. Okay, Jim, they're funding the 135K. When I was looking through how they break it, when I looked through how they break this down, the last part is marketing, outreach, and accessibility services, which is 4,000. I'm just asking for clarification that if we include this 4,000, because usually we don't include marketing, remember, as part of what we
That's right.
fund, that 4,000 be earmarked specifically for the student showcase, the education day, diversity inclusion film series. So if those are marketed for those specific programs that help our communities get those tickets to those underfunded communities to see these programs, then I'm fine with going ahead and giving them the full amount.
David.
How do we know that?
Mm-hmm.
We can,
We can earmark it.
yeah.
We don't.
Well, we can earmark it.
Once we give them the money, they can do the marketing materials. You get this, I mean, of course, some of it can be printed, it can be social media, some
Right.
can be mouse stuff. How do
Good point.
we validate that? I'm with them.
Well, didn't she say
We
that
have
they
no
have
way
an
of knowing where
intern?
they're spending the money after they get the check.
I'm answering. The
Go ahead,
question,
Barbara.
David. David, they mentioned that there's interns specifically working with Sally, if that's my understanding, that we can say that, we want the marketing to be specifically targeted on social media, in print material, to include student showcase, education, diversity, inclusion. I think if we stipulate that in writing to go along with the money we're giving, I think we're fine.
Okay.
To make sure that we actually see it.
Yes,
Right.
no, I agree.
So maybe you get a copy of these promotional
Yes.
materials.
There we go.
Included in their social media feed.
And that we're mentioned in it.
Yes.
AIPPC should be mentioned in the marketing
And
materials.
remember that now that they are required to submit a report at the end of
I
so
just want to be able to
right.
validate.
Yeah.
uh,
I agree.
and
I
they
agree,
have to
David.
submit the report before they get the payment. So okay, Cynthia and then Krissa.
Well, I propose another motion.
You can't propose another motion until we vote on the current motion.
Amend the motion.
There's already a motion on the floor. Go ahead, Krissa.
To back Barbara and David's comments, I'd also like to add that we be mentioned, art in public places, in the promotional materials as well. I know we say that, but I think it should be added into the response as well.
Yeah. Okay, thank you.
I'll entertain an amendment to my motion, Cynthia.
Per our discussion and Barbara's point, I would say that I make a motion to amend the initial motion to subtract 4,000 and also to subtract the 6,000 that goes for their special events fee waiver. So that would bring it to 25,000. I think that's a fair amount. So I'm going to suggest and make a motion to fund them for 25,000.
So there's a
Second
motion.
motion.
Hey, you second. Okay. There's a motion to amend John's original motion to remove both the $4,000 for marketing and also to decrease the amount by $6,000 based on the fact that they get their fees waived. So the total funding amount would be 25,000. It's been moved and properly seconded. Let's take the vote. Go ahead, David, do the roll call.
A point of order.
Yes.
What did we spend? What did we give them last year for this program?
I want to say it was 25.
Okay.
Can I make a comment before we vote?
Yeah.
Yes.
One of the things that comes to mind here is that if Annapolis really wants to get the publicity that it needs for these types of programs, and of course we're putting all this money and attention onto the city dock, which is going to be an amazing project once it's completed. And we are getting this now global recognition through the work that they're doing. I do feel it's important to support it at the full amount. So that's where I stand on it. I also, again, want to mention that we have an extra $14,000 that we didn't think that we were going to have, thanks to, Chris mentioning that. So that's where I'm thinking, that's what's going on in my brain right now, as I have to make a decision whether I vote on this or not.
Thank you. Alrighty, so we're going to vote on the amendment now, unless there's any other comments. So the amendment is to reduce the funding by $10,000, $4,000, to remove the funding for the line item for the marketing at $4,000 and reduce the reduce the award by $6,000 additional because of the fee waivers. Alrighty. So, David, want to go ahead and take the roll call?
Carissa?
I'm going to say no because I want to vote for the full amount.
Okay. Cynthia?
Aye.
David? No. Lynn?
No.
Barbara?
No.
John?
No.
Jim?
I'm for the motion.
Joan?
No.
Motion does not carry.
Thank you.
I'd like to make a motion to support this in full for the amount of $35,225.
You want to add the caveat about the marketing? Yeah.
Yes. To Barbara's point about the marketing. Absolutely.
Okay. Alrighty. Is there a second?
I'll second it.
Thank you, Barbara. Alrighty. Is there any? We've discussed this, so I think we're good, right? To take the roll call. David, you want to go ahead and do the roll call?
Carissa?
Aye.
Cynthia?
No.
David? Yes. Lynn?
Yes.
Barbara?
Aye.
John?
Aye.
Jim?
No.
Joan?
Aye.
Motion carries.
Alrighty. Thank you.
I move adjournment.
Madam
Thank
Chair,
you.
I have one comment I'd like to make. In the future, I would like us to solicit quotes for projects that we have come up with, rather than having a litany of people come here and want us to fund their project.
Okay. Thank you, Jim.
We're the Arts Commission. We should decide what we want, and then we should ask
Thank
for
you.
bids.
Alrighty. Thank you, everyone. Meeting adjourned.
It's like that gavel, doesn't it?